Around the end of the Cool vs. Fartmaker era, 2 new speedrunners had joined the competition with one goal: to get the fastest possible time without skips. Thus, Skipless Percent was born. We start this chapter at the beginning of August 2022. At this time, the any percent world record was already under a minute. After seeing the video on YouTube, a new player by the name of ManlyTorch joined the game. He slowly climbed the leaderboard, continuing on his mission to get the fastest skipless run possible. Before we continue, we must go over the second of these rising talents. Starting in late October, after finding the game on the front page and watching the world record run on YouTube, which was now 54 seconds at this point, I, Gravy, joined the game for the first time. Very similar to ManlyTorch, I slowly climbed the leaderboard, unknowingly on the same mission as him, wanting to get the fastest possible skipless run. On the 7th of October 2022, we managed to get in the same server. At this point, I was at a 114, with Manly quite far ahead. We ended up talking and quickly became friends, and ended up exchanging discords. After talking for a while, we started a friendly competition. We had both seen the potential of the skipless route, so we started a race to the first ever sub 1 minute skipless run. Only 4 days after we met, Manly got a new personal best at 102.6. At this point, the time between new personal best runs had slowed down drastically for both of us. However, I was still slowly climbing and eventually brought my own personal best to a 105.5 by early November, with a 106 on the 18th of November 2022 as my best recorded run. Sadly, that was the last skipless run that I had recorded. It wasn't long until another record was achieved by ManlyTorch, as on the 10th of November 2022, he got the closest anyone had come to a sub 1 minute skipless run, clocking in at 1 minute 0.5. This was devastating at the time. To come so close to the goal, just to end up half a second short, would be enough to discourage most players. Thankfully, the will to make history was enough to give Manly the motivation to push forward, and that is exactly what he did, as only 8 days later, what was originally considered impossible was finally achieved, as on the 18th of November 2022, Manly got this skipless run. While this run is playing, let's go over the 2 players a little more. As stated earlier, Manly and I first met on the 7th of October 2022, and we had become friends due to our love for speedrunning. At the time, we were both quite disappointed with the inactivity of the speedrun.com page for the game, as well as the moderators who were not verifying runs very often. So we had decided to make our own leaderboards and put them in our own Discord server, which has long since been abandoned. However, this server would be where most of the categories you know today were created. Obviously, we didn't invent the skipless percent, but we definitely made it more well known. However, we were the creators of the uwu and wall percent, and I myself came up with the reverse skipless category. $59.869, a monumental achievement not only for the skipless category, but for the entire community as a whole.